Good afternoon. Today we will study about the introduction of a conjunction and the coordinating conjunction. First of all, we will study about a conjunction. Before we start to study about a conjunction, we will preview the definition of a sentence because a conjunction is a constituent of a sentence. A sentence is a unit of a statement that more than a clause constitutes. A sentence can be constituted with only a clause. A sentence can be constituted more than two clauses. In a sentence that only a clause constitutes, it's okay to be without a conjunction to link a clause to the other clause. From the sentence that more than two clauses constitute, the sentence is constituted with a conjunction and the clauses. The definition of a conjunction is this. The speaker applies a conjunction to constitute a sentence with connecting two clauses. The speaker applies the conjunction that occurs with the relationship between the two clauses. The conjunction is determined from the relationship between the clause and the other clause. Then we can determine the conjunction after we study about the relationship between the two clauses. The role of a conjunction is this. The conjunction in a clause which another clause practices the role of a constituent completes the structure of either a clause or both clauses. This role tells us about the relationship between a clause and the other clause that constitutes the clause. The conjunction is applied for a clause to complete the structure of the other clause. In the clause that the other clause constitutes a part of the structure, the clause has the trait as an indication or a description, just like a word. With the trait in a clause, we can have the perspective that a clause has a trait as a constituent. A conjunction to reveal the relationship between the two clauses practices the role to reveal the intention of the speaker to link the two clauses. The relationship between the two clauses, the intention of the speaker with the two clauses. This means that each clause is independent in structure. Each clause is complete in its own structure with the perfect constituents. Then the speaker connects the two clauses because of the intention of the speaker. In this case, the conjunction to reveal the relationship between the two clauses. The speaker applies the coordinating conjunction to link equivalent clauses because a clause does not constitute another clause. A clause with its complete structure is linked by the coordinating conjunction. The role of the coordinating conjunction is this. The speaker links the two clauses in the complete structure with the coordinating conjunction that is the constituent of a sentence. The coordinating conjunction is applied in the sentence. From the constitution of a sentence, the coordinating conjunction is applied. The speaker links the two clauses with the coordinating conjunction to convey the integrated intention. The relationship between the two clauses. The clauses linked by the coordinating conjunction are the coordinate clauses. The speaker applies a subordinating conjunction to link two clauses because one of the two clauses constitutes the other clause. The subordinating conjunction reveals that a subordinate clause has the trait in the other clause. So we can understand that the subordinating conjunction reveals that a clause is essential in structure of the other clause. The subordinate clause starts with the subordinating conjunction. The subordinate clause is linked by the subordinating conjunction to the main clause. The clause with the subordinating conjunction is the subordinate clause. The main clause is linked by the subordinating conjunction included in the subordinate clause. The subordinating conjunction in the subordinate clause practices the role of a pronoun, a determiner, or an adverb in the subordinate clause according to the role of the subordinate clause in the main clause. The subordinate clause that has the trait of a pronoun, a determiner, or an adverb is included in the main clause. The subordinating conjunction has the trait as a pronoun. That is one of the indications. The subordinating conjunction in the subordinate clause indicates a subject or an object that is described in the subordinate clause. Then we can consider the subordinate clause to include the subordinating conjunction, a subject or an object has the trait as a pronoun or an adjective to describe a precedent in the main clause. So we can understand that the trait of the subordinate conjunction and the subordinate clause can be different. The conjunction that has the trait as a pronoun indicates a subject or an object because the main clause and the subordinate clause shares the indication. as a pronoun. The subordinating conjunction to indicate a subject or an object is common in the main clause and the subordinate clause. That's the reason why the two clauses are linked, and the fact that the in the subordinate clause describes the subordinating conjunction to indicate a subject or an object. So we can understand that the indication of the subordinating conjunction is more than just an indication. The simple indication is classified as a noun, but the subordinating conjunction to indicate a subject or an object described the indication that is complete with the description in the subordinate clause is classified as a pronoun.